The old soul, measured not by age, but by lifetimes past. Not everyone who grows old has truly lived, and not everyone who is young is naive. In the realm of the spirit, there exists a concept that transcends the boundaries of time, the old soul. An old soul is not defined by the number of years they've walked this earth, but by the many lifetimes their spirit has journeyed through. These are the souls that have been reborn over countless cycles, tasting the full spectrum of human experience, love and betrayal, power and loss, light and shadow. Each lifetime was a lesson, and old souls are the diligent students who have felt, endured, and understood. It's no coincidence when a child holds a gaze so deep it quiets the hearts of adults. Nor is it by chance that some people move through life feeling strangely misplaced, as if their heart remembers a world long gone. These are signs of souls who have lived far beyond their physical age, bearing silent memories from past lives. Old souls rarely seek noise or recognition. They long for truth, peace, and meaningful connection. They don't need to know everything, for within them lies a quiet knowing, born not of education, but of inner depth. And perhaps the most beautiful thing about an old soul is not what they possess, but how they show up in the world, quietly, profoundly, and with deep compassion. Because they have traveled far, returned again, and now live with only one purpose, to live truthfully and help others find their own light. Ancient wisdom, the quiet gift of the old soul. Some wisdom cannot be found in books, taught in any school, or earned through ordinary life experience. It is timeless, silent, and profound, the kind of wisdom only old souls carry. Old souls often don't need to go through much in this lifetime to understand life's essence. They know, instinctively, that everything happens for a deeper reason, that pain is a form of healing, and that freedom comes through letting go. This knowing doesn't arise from personal experience alone, but from soul memory, a treasure trove gathered over lifetimes. They may have never studied psychology, yet they listen and heal like a therapist. They may not be eloquent, but when they speak, hearts grow still. They understand unspoken wounds and hear what has not yet been said. This is not intelligence of the mind, but wisdom of the heart and soul, a clarity shaped by love, loss, struggle, and rising again. Not just once, but many times across the human journey. And it is this ancient wisdom that sets them apart. They don't chase instant success, nor are they dazzled by glittering facades. Instead, they choose to live slowly, honestly, and deeply, for they know life is not a race to win, but a path to understand and awaken. They may not say much, but their presence is a kind of light, a gentle reminder that some truths are not meant to be spoken, only lived. Reincarnation, the silent journey of the old soul. Not all of us are here for the first time, and not everyone is starting from zero. In the invisible realms where time flows differently, some souls have walked through hundreds, even thousands of lifetimes, quietly learning, quietly evolving, only to return, carrying the light of understanding. Old souls are the wanderers of the universe. They have loved in one life, lost in another, forgiven through tears, and been reborn to learn how to love without clinging. Each life is a classroom, each circumstance an exam, and they are the students who keep showing up for the lessons of the soul. They may have once held great power, then lived voiceless in another life to learn humility. Perhaps they caused pain, then returned as the one who suffers, not as punishment, but to understand the sacred thread that binds all beings. Having passed through so many forms of existence, old souls carry a certain stillness, the calm of one who has seen much and understood deeply. They no longer judge quickly or chase fleeting things. They live to observe, to keep learning, and to guide those still searching for their path. Each lifetime brings new lessons, but the destination remains the same: awakening, a return to the original self, where the soul is pure light, free from karma and desire. You may not remember who you were before, but if your heart often aches for something ancient and unnamed, perhaps you are not new here. No longer led by the material, for they have seen it all before. Some people are born without the hunger for fame, glitter, or the race for success. They live quietly, thoughtfully, always searching for something deeper than what the eye can see. This isn't indifference. It is the sign of an old soul, one who has lived many lifetimes, where they once had everything, only to realize nothing truly fulfills if the inside remains empty. Old souls no longer believe that happiness can be bought, measured, or shown off. They've lived that life before, been praised, had power, possessed wealth, and lost it all in an instant. The hazy memories of those lives linger, making them wary of the world's illusions. To them, success is not a title, it is inner peace. Truth is not loud, it is sincere. Value is not in possessions, it is in the frequency of presence. They choose simplicity, not because they can't be rich, but because wealth was never the destination. They choose less, to have more time for awakening. They choose slowness, to feel the rhythm of their own heart in a hurried world. They choose inward, when others are still looking outward. Old souls live as quiet observers. They do not chase the spotlight because they know true light does not shine from outside, it radiates from within when one lives in alignment with their soul. Silence, the sacred space where the old soul is reborn. Not all silence is loneliness, and not everyone who chooses solitude is escaping the world. For the old soul, stillness is more than preference. It is sacred ground for rebirth. They do not recharge in crowds. They are not comfortable in shallow conversations or relationships that fill time but empty the soul. They need a space to turn inward like a deep well, where every echo carries healing. Old souls tend toward solitude, but not sorrow. They are quiet but not afraid, alone but never truly lonely. In those moments without distraction, they draw closer to themselves and to something more divine than any sound outside. In silence, they hear the unspoken, intuition, soul whispers, vague echoes from past lives. Their reflection is not worry, it is understanding of people, of life, of the invisible forces weaving fate. They don't need others to fill them. They only need space to be fully themselves, whole, unforced, unmasked. To an old soul, stillness is where healing happens, where old energy is shed and new light enters. The world may call them withdrawn, but truly they are opening their hearts inward first, so that when they step into the world, they offer not emptiness, but presence, filled with the light of the soul. The feeling of being different, when an old soul no longer belongs. Some people go through life feeling out of place, not because they're unloved, but because their hearts seem to belong to another realm. They live among cities and crowds, yet walk like lonely travelers across unnamed lands. They work, interact, laugh, but inside there's always an unanswered question. Why do I never feel like I belong here? This isn't pessimism or disconnection. It is the quiet awareness of an old soul, one who has lived many lives, felt every emotion, walked the path of learning and awakening long ago, and now, returning to the material world, carries the sense, I've seen all of this before. Old souls aren't thrilled by the games society celebrates. What excites others makes them quiet. They often stand at the edges, observing, not because they are weak, but because they are listening to a different rhythm, deeper, older. This feeling of being different is not a wound. It is a sign of inner depth, a reminder that you are not here to fit in, but to guide by being fully, authentically you. And when an old soul embraces this difference as a gift, no longer trying to belong, but becoming a place others feel they can return to, then they are no longer alone. They become a silent light in a chaotic world. Not to be noticed, but to remind others, we don't all come from the same place, nor do we carry the same mission. A mission to awaken and guide, the light amidst the darkness. Some people don't need a stage to shine, because their very presence lights the path for lost souls. Old souls carry a sacred mission, to come into this world not to claim the spotlight, but to help, to heal, and to guide those drowning in sorrow. They are like quiet torchbearers, illuminating the way back to oneself. Their mission is not measured by words or grand achievements. It is defined by sincerity in the smallest acts, a gentle touch, an understanding glance, a comforting smile. These tiny gestures hold an invisible power that can change a life. When you meet an old soul, you sense they are not here to prove anything, but to leave traces of love and wisdom. Having endured pain, loss, and countless stumbles, they know suffering is inseparable from the human path. But more importantly, they've learned how to transform pain into strength, into lessons that help others realize every wound can become a window toward awakening. In today's noisy world, where people chase illusions of wealth and success, these souls are seeds of remembrance. They remind us that happiness is not in owning or displaying, but in deep connection with self and others. They show us that sometimes all it takes is one quiet moment, one sincere presence, to lead someone home to the light of their soul. And in being present, at the right time, in the right way, with pure love, they turn darkness into awakening. Each encounter, each shared story becomes part of a greater picture, where soul light always leads those who are ready to return to themselves.